Like, do we know when Illinois' locker room will, and how long will it be open till? Until what time? Like, did it just open? Until 6. All right. All right. Illinois' locker room is now open. It'll be open till approximately 6 p.m. local. We're joined by the University of Illinois head coach Brad Underwood, along with Marcus Damask and Luke Goody. We'll start with an opening statement from Coach, then we'll take questions from Marcus and Luke, and then we'll come back to questions for Coach Underwood. Coach.
Well, obviously, we're pleased with the outcome. It was a tale of two halves. Nebraska and Fred have had just an incredible season, and I have so much respect for Fred. He's a dear friend, and obviously they played a little bit man down today with Wilcher being out. But it was a frustrating first half, just because I didn't think we had any pop. We didn't have any life. We looked like we were still in bed asleep. My halftime wasn't about any X's and O's. It was animated. Probably didn't want to check my blood pressure, but we had to find some life. And then it obviously didn't work because we had to call a quick timeout in the second half. And then they responded, and it was on them. It wasn't me. It was all them deciding to play, and that's who we can be in the second half. I thought Luke and Ty were just unbelievable today with their offensive rebounding. I think they had 11 of our 14 impacted the game. Obviously, Luke made some balls, which is absolutely great to see. He's been fighting some injury with tendonitis in his knee and an ankle. And then Marcus, you look down and it's 16, 8, and 7. You're talking almost triple-double type numbers. So, you sit here and you talk about a lot of things, and obviously Terrence breaks the tournament record. But the most important thing I hope our guys learn is, it's a lose and go home, and we can't have first halves like we had. Today the second half was fun to watch this group play, because we can be pretty good when we do that.
Questions for Marcus and Luke. We'll start in the front here. Jeremy in the middle.
This is for both you guys. 40 points is obviously a record. What's it like to have Terrence Shannon on your team right now?
Luke?
It makes it easy on us, right? You get a defensive rebound and look for him in transition. That's basically the key to it. And when you have someone as gifted of a scorer and as gifted of an athlete that can get downhill and then still go 5 for 9 for 3, it's pretty special. So when you got a teammate like that, all you can do is look for him. And, he was able to knock down a bunch of shots tonight and help our team win.
Stay in the front, middle left.
Marcus, obviously a little more comfortable tonight. You shot it better. What went into that, and how did you feel? It started that game maybe a little slow, but then you got into rhythm.
Yeah, it's just basketball. Whether you miss a shot, you make a shot, there's another possession. So the mindset is just next possession, how in this possession am I going to help my team win? So I try not to think about what I'm doing other than the next possession and how am I going to help my team.
Go to the third row in the middle. Brian?
Yeah, so Luke, Coach obviously mentioned you've been battling some injuries here. So just how does it feel just to have a game like you had today?
Yeah, it feels great. It's kind of just like I've said since I got to Illinois, it's just believing in the process. Anybody that's watched Illinois over the past month know it's been, a lot of ups and downs, especially for myself. But I just got to keep going and keep working hard in practice. I feel like I've brought it in practice, and to have a game like this is it was nice to have, for sure, for the confidence. I'm excited to help the team in any way, and today I was able to hit shots and get offensive rebounds, and that's what impacted it in a winning way. So I was happy to do that, and give us an opportunity to win a championship tomorrow.
Stay in the middle, third row left.
Coach said there wasn't a lot of X's and O's at halftime, but what changed defensively with giving up 52 in the first half and only 37 or so in the second one? Did anything change scheme-wise for you guys?
Marcus.
We started switching a little more with the rink mass, and in the first half he got us a couple when he popped, and we were in our drop coverage, so we started switching a little more and not let him get the threes. But I think it was more just a team effort than it was X's and O's.
Front row right side, Tyler.
Yeah, for Luke. I know you had the 4 threes, but you also had 4 big offensive rebounds. How does that impact you when you're hitting it on both ends of the floor like that?
Yeah, well, one of the biggest plays, in my opinion, on the offensive end that you can do is offensive rebound. Usually it leads to good things. I can recall, too, that, one was a Marcus wide open 3 that he was able to knock down, and another one led to a layup. So when you can get second chance opportunities on the glass, it's huge for the team, and it gives us another opportunity to score. So, especially tie with 7, I mean, that's big time. When you can have 2 guys that combine for 11 offensive rebounds, you're doing some good things. So, any way to impact the game, and that too.
Back to Jeremy, front row.
Luke, obviously, you've been a part of a Big Ten title team. This team's won this a couple of years ago before you got here. What's it mean for this team to have a chance to get a banner tomorrow?
Yeah, it means everything. I'll remember for the rest of my life when Iowa missed that last 3 in the corner we ran on the court. That's going to be a memory that I remember for the rest of my life. We have a ring to go with it, and that's what we play for. We play for championships. So to have the opportunity tomorrow to get another championship, it's what we play for. It's what we work all summer for. It's what we work in the preseason for, and throughout the whole season is to put ourselves in a position like this, and we're excited for the opportunity.
Third row left middle.
You guys shot a lot better from behind the arc in the second half. What did you see out there, and how did you adjust and shoot better?
Luke.
Can you ask that again? My fault. You said
How did we shoot better?
Shooting better in the second.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so my fault. So we were in the second half, or at halftime, we knew what they were going to do on defense. We started running some actions that put their defenders in a tough situation, long closeouts and stuff like that, and we were able to move the ball. I think the second half we made quick decisions. We were able to swing the ball a lot faster and get way better looks, in my opinion. I remember a couple shots. Quincy got a wide open 3 late just from moving the ball. I was able to get a couple looks. Marcus got a couple wide open looks. I think it was just the movement of the ball in the second half that really allowed us to step into those threes instead of taking contested threes.
Take 1 or 2 more for student athletes if anybody has one. All right, we'll go far right side. Then we'll finish with Jeremy.
Even with Terrence doing his thing tonight, just how important was it for guys like yourself and for Quincy to still be able to knock down shots down the stretch?
Yeah, it's super important. When somebody can score that well, a lot of the defenders on the other team will crowd the paint and do everything they can to stop him. When somebody has 40 points, I mean, you have to do something, right? So for us to step up and hit shots, Marcus 16, Quincy 13. I was able to hit some shots as well. I think that opens up the floor as well, because now you don't have a bunch of guys that can go into the paint on his drives. Transition, it opens up a lot of lanes for him, because you can't have guys helping off of, Quincy in the corner, me in the corner, situations like that. So I think it just works really well in itself.
Front row, Jeremy.
Marcus, Terrence has 25 plus in 8 of 11 games. Just you're a guy who can go off like that. What's that do for you guys as a team?
It helps with spacing. When you got guys that can shoot as well as he does, everything opens up more for everyone else. And then teams have to focus so much on getting back in transition against them, and I mean that's tiring. Teams don't want to sprint back every single possession. And Terrence, he's got a motor that he just keeps going. He doesn't get tired, so he just little by little wears teams down. I mean, he drew 10 fouls. That hurts teams.
Marcus and Luke, thank you. You can head back to the locker room. We'll continue with questions for Coach. If you have a question for Coach Underwood, please raise your hand and we'll get the mic to you. We'll start on the right side, front row. Tyler.
Brad, similar situation in the second half today. Early timeout in the first couple minutes. Yesterday, you were pretty visibly upset. Today, not as much. What was your message different compared to yesterday?
At some point, it's not me. It's they've got to want to do that. You can't. This team has a lot of pride, and I challenged them at halftime, and then there wasn't much there, and so I just sat there for a good little bit. I didn't say much. I didn't say anything, and at some point it's got to be their leadership take over. Quincy Guerrier really stepped up. That became a happy huddle in terms of encouragement and so on and so forth, and it's amazing how that worked for our team. But I didn't sub very much. I let those guys run for a long time, and boy, it was really encouraging to see, because it's on them, and it wasn't me. Yesterday was more me. Today was more them.
Third row middle.
Coach, the Big Ten tournament's never seen something like what Terrence did today. Have you ever seen anything like what Terrence did today in your time coaching over the decades?
I was very, very fortunate that I coached Michael Beasley. And Michael Beasley is a freshman, averaged 26 and 12. So unfortunately, I saw Michael do that quite a bit. I saw him have an unbelievable game in Allen Fieldhouse one night against on big game. And so I have, but that was pretty special today. I didn't realize he had that many. I mean, you get going just in the flow of the game, and we like the matchups, and we put him in situations, and he it was kind of it just fell into those things. It wasn't strained.
Front row, Jeremy.
Brett, obviously there's been a lot going on with him throughout the year. Can you put into context what his mindset has been throughout this to be able to play at this level?
Great. He's handled it like a professional. He knows there's a serious situation out there. He's been an unbelievable teammate, but he has been great. He has handled it. His work ethic hasn't changed. It took him a little bit to come back because he's a great teammate, but been very professional.
Front row, Brad.
Brad, you guys, second half, you're able to get in the paint. Nebraska doesn't, they really leave a guy in the paint almost, but you were still able to get to the basket. What'd you change offensively to make that happen?
And I think Luke and Marcus both mentioned it. Ball movement. We got ball movement. We call what we do 0.5 basketball, and that's making the extra pass. It hits your hand and it's out. And first half we held it, and I bet half the time we reversed it back to the same side or threw it back to the same side we got it from. So we were driving it right back into the defense, and that's all we talked about literally at halftime and one of the timeouts. Just get rid of it, and then you can drive it. And we've got some guys who are good at driving mismatches, and I thought Ty and TJ were those two. I thought Coleman had some opportunities to do that, and that freed everything up.
Take two more. Brian in the third row middle, and then we'll finish on the right.
So, Coach, we see Ty Rogers this weekend just refusing to lose. Can you just talk about just that importance for you guys, obviously, for this month?
Yeah, it's nice to see him play well, because he's been working his butt off in the gym. And it's amazing how that works. Good things happen to those who work hard, and he's always a great teammate. He's guarding with intensity and purpose, but his rebounding's been phenomenal. And again, we made a change in the second half, putting him on the ball and getting Marcus off of it, and he just got downhill and created some easy opportunities for himself as well.
We'll finish in the third row middle left.
In the previous matchup, Coach, Casey Tominaga had an amazing game shooting the ball. What did you guys do differently against him today to make sure he didn't get off against you guys again?
Prayed. He's the one player in the country that maybe the only player in this league that really gives me angst, and because you can guard him great and it not matter. And we really guarded him very, very well in Champaign in the game. But I think the one thing we wanted to do is make sure they were twos and not give him uncontested threes or blown assignment threes. And I thought for the most part, again, Terrence had my game plan going in was to keep Terrence in on him all the time and not have to sub that. But again, shows why Terrence is really good. But he's a terrific player. He's had a terrific season, and I'm glad we don't have to play him anymore.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Coach. Congratulations.
Thank you.
We'll be joined by Nebraska shortly.